These are the brand new drivers for 2025 for Taylormade, and they've added a heck of a lot of technology.
That was smoked. The hell?
Now the question is, do they work for the golf they're designed to work for? Now in this video, I'm going to demand a hell of a lot from these drivers to find out if the tech they have added actually works. But with such a strong product in 2024, I actually have no idea
where they go from here. Like, think about the Qi10, Qi10 Max and the LS version. They were so well received. It seems a literally impossible task to beat that. Well, say hello to the Qi35. First question. What do we think about the name? Come on, be honest. What do we think about the name? Now I need to get hit in here. Got the LS model in my hand. We will be reviewing all three models like we did last year, but I just need to hit this. Interesting look, that, you know. Interesting look. Ooh, a little Healy. Not the sound I expected. Take that, to be fair. I was definitely expecting a more dual sound there. Now, that was the LS model. You've got a middle of the range one, which is just a Qi35, and then you've got the Max model 2. Don't forget, the Max was a huge, huge story. I guess, looking at Taylormade, but in the whole of 2024, with all the brands, it was a huge, huge story.
Now, we're going to be getting data. What ball speeds do we get? What club head speeds do we get? What's our average carry? And there's literally no excuses. I'm in the sun. But more importantly, I'm going to tell you what I love about this driver, then what I hate about the brand new Taylormade Qi35, and then we'll do a little line underneath here. Things to change. Now, you might agree with me, you might not agree with me, but this is really what I think a review should be about.
So let's start with looks down behind the ball. On the left, you've got the LS model. In the middle, you've got the middle of the range model, just a Qi35. And on the right is the Max. Now, the first thing that I would say is that I'm looking at that Max and the Qi35, the middle of the range model, and thinking, there's not much difference in like the look of that. And wait till you see the underneath. But the other thing that's going to strike you is they've lost the glossy black finish. We've still got this carbon crown and this area here on the inside, but you've now got a real grey carbon effect. To say I'm happy about this, they've kept the little, I guess, light grey line along the top. And they've lost the blue face. We've gone red, we've gone blue, and now I'm going to say it's like a dark grey face. Big, big upgrade, personally, in terms of like visuals looking down on that. And from the sole, this is what we're looking at. This is actually the Max model, and you can see here we've still got the story of the 10,000 MOI, 10K. Now, interestingly, we've sort of lost this big lip we had here in the Qi10 model, and the footprint from the bottom looks a little more subtle. And this is literally what I was meaning. Apart from the slightly different weighting system, this is the Qi35. Very similar in terms of the outer, the area here in the middle, than what we have on the Max model. And then finally, this one looks really cool, by the way. Big fan of this area right here. Dual weighting system at the front, one at the back, and this is the LS model. A lot more compact. And the entire story for Taylormade this year is about a lower CG position. It does change within each model, but a lower CG position than the Qi10 to improve spin characteristics, and you know what's coming, to give you more consistent, longer, straighter golf shots. Right, it's time to start hitting some more. Let's get some data, launch monitors out. This is a tight hole, you know. This is seriously tight. Let's start with the LS model. Now, the first thing that's going through my mind is there much difference between this and the Qi10? Because if I was in your shoes, they're the questions that I'd be thinking about. Should I buy this? Should I go for this? Or should I just keep what I've already got? That was smoked. That was like a bullet, you know. That was literally exactly where I was aiming. A little bit off the top of the club, if I'm being honest, but let's have a look at the numbers. numbers time. Remember, this was a little bit off the top, but here you go. 1,767 spin, seriously low, carry 242, ball speed, and you know what? I got way better in the locker in terms of club speed and strike location, 160.7. That's quite impressive. That's quite impressive, because that was hit good, but you know, when you're like, yeah, I've definitely got a little better in there. And in terms of total, 279. I'll be perfectly honest, my eyes were drawn straight to hitting that LS model, which is why I went for it first. Sorry. Okay, so let's just go through this in order, right? Let's go through and hit one now with the Qi35. That's the sort of one in the middle of the range. And I don't know if I'm seeing much difference here. Don't know if I'm seeing much difference. Which I'm really trying to decide, is that a good thing? Take this out, or a bad thing? Like, you could look at it as a good thing. Have they made the head slightly bigger this year in the middle of the range model, so it is more forgiving? Now, don't forget, the whole story around Taylormade this year is a lower CG position. Now, in the LS model we just hit, this has the lowest CG out of all the models this year, creating for a more efficient launch and spin for a larger area of the club face. Now, you'll also notice here 3 gram weights towards the front and 1 13 gram weight towards the back. Whereas in the Qi35 model, you've got a weighting system front and back. Okay, now actually this has been set up with the 13 gram weight at the front and the 3 gram weight at the back. I guess putting this in the lowest spinning format this driver could be. Now, if you're wondering why we're changing shaft, I want to make this the fairest test possible. So I want to make sure I've got the same shaft with every single model. Where's my thing gone? Okay, it's here. Now, this excites me, this driver, because I thought the Qi10 Max last year looked like someone had literally stood on it. It looked a little bit over large, whereas this, on the other hand, I don't know, just looks a little more inviting. You know what I've just noticed? The little detailings, the black detailings round the side there. See what I mean? That looks bigger than last year's, but just the footprint, I don't know, it just sits a little bit better to my eye. That was oh my. Yeah. How that came off, and I know I've moved the weighting system to make this a more low spinning, or the lowest spinning version this could be, but how that just came off right there, that was out the screws. Yeah, that's good. Have a look at this. Data. 291 total, 163.6 ball speed, and I do realise I swung that a little quicker. I am going to hit some more with the LS, because that second shot was a little bit sluggish. And a 253 carry, and a 2,977 spin. So is the whole idea, I'm thinking right now, the improvement on last year's driver was the fact that they tried to make it really forgiving. Did that bump the spin up too high, they found? Hence why now we create a lower CG position, helping bring that spin down. That's sort of the way I'm thinking about this. So that's a little closer look at that face close up. It's a carbon face again, but this is such a better colorway. The little dashes of that dark gray that complement the top. When you put it down behind the ball, it just looks so much better. And then you know what? I think a lot of people will definitely agree with this. So, you've got a 4th generation carbon twist face. And you know what? I actually respect Taylormade for this. They're keeping things in year on year and just slightly tweaking them better and better. It's not like one year we believe in this tech, the next year we believe in that tech. It's like we're building on this, which is why when I first started testing this today, in my mind I was like, how do you improve a Qi10? How do you do it? Right, let's hit a couple more shots, just here. Then we'll go on to this next hole. You've got to see this next hole. But I want to hit one away with the Max. And I want to see if actually down the ball there is any difference in look. Now, difference in sound, in my opinion, on the 3 shots that I've hit, 2 with the LS, 1 with the normal. Alex, 1 with the normal. I think they sound the same. Now, in the Max model, you have no movable weights at all, which in terms of being able to customize your ball flight, limits you a little bit. Now, I'm really interested now to see what this spin goes like in this model. I'm just not seeing much difference. I'm still trying to look at it there. The only thing I could pick out is that it's slightly more domey slightly more domey. Right, come on, without further ado, this is the Max model. We've not hit this one as of yet. That was hit so out the heel, and it's gone poker straight. That was literally hit so out the heel. Now it has gone a lot shorter, a lot shorter, and quite low spinning considering I hit that out the heel. Right, don't judge, that went a carry of 217 out the heel. Now it did go straight, main thing. Ball speed was relatively high, clubhead speed was quite a bit down there. I must be feeling a bit ropey today. And then a total carry of 250. You know what, this is such a good place to see those slight differences. This is the Max model right here, and a little more domey on the top. Qi35 in the middle, and the LS version there. Yeah, I love the look of this. Love the look of this.
So let's start with a few things that I love. Sound. Now the feel is very, very similar of all those faces. In the past, I've been very, very critical of carbon faces. It feels fast, it feels firm. First generation in the Stealth, the red face, maybe the fact that it was red, I mean, had nothing to do with the feel, but that felt too soft for me. I love this. Very, very good feel off the face. So we can go sound and we can put feel in there. I also think face color, so we'll just put face as that. So we've got three things in here that I love. Sound, feel, face. I'm yet to decide though, is there enough of a difference between this and the Qi10? Is there enough of a difference?
This is that tee shot, by the way. Now you know what I'm on about. Now another visual upgrade in my eyes is this sort of gloss contrast between the matte bottom. I like it. I like it a lot. Now you'll have noticed on all of the models, so the LS, the Qi35 and the Qi35 Max, they've all got this through slot speed pocket. But one thing this Max model has that the other two do not have is the new symmetric interior generator. And essentially, this is a 34-gram tungsten weight, creating the best for launch conditions they have ever seen in a 10K Taylormade driver. So you know when I was saying, is it worth that upgrade over last year's? Well, that's one thing that this driver, the Max model, didn't have last year, and it does have this year. Essentially, making it even more forgiving. Even more forgiving. I could stand here all day, you know. I could stand here all day. But I can't do that, so let's get hitting. Oh, that was smoked. A little bit down the left wing, a lot higher. Now I know I'm hitting severely downhill. God, that was hit good. That was hit good. The thing that excites me about this is, look how low, or good that should say, that spin is. Carry 257, the longest yet. Spin 2977. Ball speed, what? And total distance. You know what? I think now, after hitting loads of shots, I'm really starting to get this driver a little bit more. Get what Taylormade are trying to do in 2025. A Max model with a spin like that. Does this make that model more accessible to more people? For example, higher swing speeds could get some joy out of a Max model and still get a lot of distance and don't have to worry about spin. On the flip side of that, if you looked at it pessimistically, does that mean the Qi35, the one in the middle of the range, is a little bit redundant? I don't know. Right, let's hit one more away. Qi35, which we have here, which I'm still questioning, is this not the Max model? And then we're gonna hit one away with the LS. Get those numbers, and don't forget, we're gonna go through what I love, what I hate, and things to change. A little bit out the heel. Good drive that though. Woo. Peely fade. Numbers here from the Qi35 model, but this is the LS numbers. Now I'm showing you this because I couldn't quite believe my eyes. 287 total, right? Wait for it, please. What the hell? What? A 169 ball speed? That's literally unheard of in my eyes. Like for me, like I got it in the GT when I first got fitted, but on the golf course, crazy. Just to go through what I got with my shot on the Qi35, so the middle of the range model, it was a 2888 spin, a 289 total, and I thought this ball speed was good, 165.
and a 260 carry. And overall, the spin for me with the shaft that I use, all three drivers were in that, I guess, sweet spot. So is it just that you can go for the more forgiving model? Is it that actually, well, saying that, the ball speed was crazy. Now I know it needs more tuning. Oh, I really don't know. Usually I'm like, okay, this model is definitely better for me, but this has seriously turned my head.
Now it's also worth noting all of these drivers have a 460cc head. Just the way they're shaped are all slightly different. Now have a look at the faces here. You've got the LS, which has a much deeper face, whereas, as I keep saying, the difference between the Max and the Qi35, there's not too much difference in that face profile. And you can see that right here. I thought long and hard about this. The thing I'm gonna hate is the name. I really think the name is a little bit of a letdown. Don't like it, doesn't have a buzz about it. I hate the head cover. Now, they're literally tiny things, aren't they? They don't alter performance. Now, it's obvious to say the things that I would change would be the fact that the name and the head cover, but in terms of performance, what I would change is, I just think, I don't hate it though, that the look of the Qi35 and the Max is too similar. I would have slightly changed the weighting, added the skirting or kept the skirting from the Qi10 Max. I would have made it look a little bit more different down behind the ball at address, because then it has a little bit more of a forgiving factor, the mental side of it. That was a big story about the Qi10. You look down on the Max last year and you're like, whoa, that is big. There was a real big difference. I just don't feel it's there this year. Maybe it's the colourway on top which really makes it look smaller. Like they say, I know this driver's not black, but it's dark coloured. You wear black, it makes you look thinner. Maybe that is why. Just an idea, just an idea. But yeah, that's the thing I would change, making sure the Max looks different. Now, I would say this. I do think Taylormade have done a great job of using and building on what they had in last year's driver. For example, still going down the same story, maximum distance with maximum forgiveness. And they've almost said, okay, we realise that maybe the Max model was a little bit too high spinning, let's get a lower CG, let's improve that, make that Max model more open to more golfers. Would I be? Is it much different? Well, the answer to that question is...
yeah. I think I probably would, simply because I could go from just the Qi10 model in the middle of the range last year to potentially more into the Max model, which we all know will essentially give me a little bit more forgiveness. But that added bit of technology this year with the lower CG and lower spin means I don't really have to worry about it getting a little bit climby. I really, really do like this driver. I think it's a strong, strong improvement on what they built on from last year, which I think is a great story for Taylormade. I think driver brands sometimes throw random bits of technology in here and then you don't see them. It does really feel like a driver that has been built on from what they had last year. Now, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell. We have all the reviews of the latest drivers for 2025 up here on the channel. Callaway's already up. We've got Ping coming very, very shortly. Don't forget to subscribe, turn the bell, so you never miss another review of the latest product. And you know what? Fair play, Taylormade. Apart from a few things, head cover and name, it's a really good driver, this, and some good improvements from last year.